Way back in 2018, I was gifted an Xbox Series S as a Christmas present from my parents. I immediately jumped onto Minecraft and started building. But soon after, my dad went on the store and saw Forza Horizon 2 at a low price, as it was about to reach its EOL status. I originally didn't even want it. I just wanted to play Minecraft because I was a dumb kid. But we got it, and slowly but surely, I fell in love with the Forza franchise, and cars as a whole. These days, I've got every Forza Horizon game and a bunch of other racers. While I've poured the most hours into Forza Horizon 4, and the best overall experience is Forza Horizon 2, the best one? Well, you saw the title. Way back in October of 2019, the absolute beast of a man that is Ethan sold me this game for £5. Very good deal, Ethan. Thank you. To say I liked it was an understatement. To put it simply, this was the only game I played the whole of November. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like this game has changed my life and I have everything I ever wanted. And I'm also not going to act like it was the first racing game I ever got. It was probably around the 5th. I've got loads now. And I will say that this game is different from every other racing game, ever. And this is also one of the best ever. But to understand why this is such a good game, we need to look at what makes a good racing game. Usually, racing games are put into two different categories: sim racers and arcade racers. In the sim racing genre, we have games like Gran Turismo and Forza Motorsport, which is slightly more arcade than its contemporaries. In the arcade racing genre, we have games like Need for Speed, Midnight Club, and Forza Horizon. Sim racers are designed to simulate racetracks and accurate physics, meaning cars are more similar to real life. Arcade racers are the complete opposite of this, and are designed to simulate arcade-style physics, which are unrealistic. They tend to be less serious and focus more on fun, taking place in cities with open-world maps. They may also include elements of illegal street racing like the Need for Speed series, having you mod your car to take out the police. I've actually got a lot of arcade racing games, and I adore them. From Need for Speed Hot Pursuit to Forza Horizon, I love them all. But what makes a good racer? Several things. You want a big open world map, lots of different cars, a banging soundtrack and good progression. And a good trailer is always welcome too. Forza Horizon 3 bangs this nail on the head and it gets it spot on, but we'll get onto that later in the review. Games like Need for Speed 2015 and Forza Horizon 3 have astonishing trailers. Every time I hear the Police remix of Gangsta's Paradise or the music of Forza Horizon 3, I get goosebumps.
We want to be free. We want to be free to do what we want to do. We want to be free to ride. We want to be free to ride our machines without being hassled by the man. We want to have a good time. That's what we're going to do. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have a party. Yeah!
It's a work of art. A bad example of an arcade racer is something like Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012. A terrible progression system, soundtrack, physics engine, and confusing map make this game annoying to play and sometimes frustrating. Even Forza Horizon 4 has its flaws, with a lackluster progression system, bad car sounds, and a soundtrack like Marmite. Some people like it and some people don't. Forza Horizon 2 was a game not many of my friends bought. Same with Forza Horizon 4. Not a whole lot of people bought it. But with Forza Horizon 3, almost everyone in my friends list had it. In 2016, Forza Horizon 3 was the car game. Need for Speed 2015 was fun, but grimy and buggy. Forza Horizon 3 was fun, bright, and had more cars and graphics. And people still feel the same way I do. It's really quite impressive comparing the lists of my friends on a speed trap in 3 and 4. I can scroll down in 3, but in 4 we barely get past 8. So this game sold like hotcakes. But why? Well, it was partially due to the fact you could get a Forza Horizon 3 Hot Wheels bundle with an Xbox One, and that sold very well. But this game sold well because of the differences compared to every other racing game. And we'll get into those shortly. So one day I was sitting on Forza Horizon 4 and I felt a bit empty. I've done literally everything in the game. What else can I do? And like the flick of a switch, a thought popped into my head. Of course. I looked under my bed and rooted around and I found it. Forza Horizon 3. I booted up the game after installing it and I was just hit with that intro. Waves of music in my ears as I look at Centenarios and Holdens and Aerials. Wow. I get goosebumps every time I hear it. There's something so magical about it, and whenever I hear it, I think of Australia. Probably a good thing considering all the creepy crawlies and stuff. I boot up the game and I'm loaded into the festival. I flip through the cars and pick my BMW M3, tricked out with turbos and wide bodies, camber and roll cages. I drive it about a bit and I just feel disappointed. Empty even. Where was the magic? Was I entirely misremembering this game? Were the memories I had of this game purely based on nostalgia? But then I got into my snow white Toyota Supra, put on my headphones and put on Vagrant Radio. I wasn't wrong. The magic was still there. Soon I was driving for half an hour, listening to the songs I had heard so many times before. Driving through rainforests, cities and coastal roads, the 2JZ roar and the music filling my ears, and I was happy. Dams and bridges and tunnels and train tracks, long roads and short roads and twists and jumps. This game I had poured hours into was still there and still magical. Still alive. As exhilarating as the driving experience can be, sometimes it's oddly calm to just rip it through the outback roads at sunset. And with so much variety. JDM icon in the city, 80s supercar in the desert, cult classic in the rainforest, muscle car on the beach. And the landscape was just as good, even better than I remembered. Looming skyboxes are graphically incredible, and are actually real pictures and time lapses of the Australian sky. There's a lot of variety, from musky rain that actually feels real, to orange and yellow sunsets, to lit up night skies that look like millions of tiny holes of light. It's breathtaking. And considering the release dates was around 2016, it's stunning. Look at some of the pictures I caught. I skimmed through more of my cars. Mustangs with quadruple digit horsepower, Subarus slammed to the ground with Tokyo-esque paint jobs, wide body BMWs. They were all still there. Even my Karma Police themed Crown Vic. Someone give this guy a medal for recreating Tom York's face in a video game. Like every Horizon game, you've got your radio stations, but in Horizon 3 I can tell you one of the radio stations is a bit different. I mentioned Vagrant Radio earlier and how I listen to them. Well, this radio station just puts out indie hit after indie hit after indie hit, from White Lies to the 1975 to Blink-182. It is genuinely the best soundtrack in the game, full of songs that make me want to make this video even more. Ironically, while I'm writing this, there is no real way to put into words how it feels driving listening to their songs. Plus, the DJ, Van, is such a legend.
On Vagrant Records with Van. And hey, you just got here in time for the skill song. How convenient. Double skill chains starting now.
Come on, Losing Touch and What's Real are the best. There's something so shocking about the feeling you get cruising in a car listening to these empowering songs that make you want to text all your friends saying how much you appreciate them and cry. If you did that though, they would probably think you're sniffing glue, so don't. You really can't recreate the feeling of getting an absolute banger on the radio while the engine roars and the orange and yellow sky looms. The DLC was actually good for this game too. I was able to snag the Hot Wheels, Blizzard Mountain and Hoonigan pack for a cool 20 quid before the game reached end of life status. I did too. The Hoonicorn is definitely worth paying for, there's no other beast like it. Blizzard Mountain was worth it too, as described in a previous video. Hot Wheels it's awesome. People like to rag on Forza for not being realistic enough, but nobody could deny that the Hot Wheels expansion was just pure fun. The Lego expansion was disappointing because it had nothing to do with cars. Hot Wheels, however, is a giant map with loop-de-loops, boosts, jumps, and giant orange roads made of plastic. Couldn't not have fun with it. I've been working my way through both expansions, trying to 100% each of them. It's long and arduous, but whenever it feels too grindy I'll just hop in a car and hoon it about. I spent ages drifting around the plastic roads and trying to race round the snowy bends. I also bought the Mitsubishi Eclipse and the Ford Crown Vic, because when it's all over, you're going to need some classic cops and robbers vehicles. The track-focused real-life race cars pack was also pretty cool, as we got really great handling, awesome looking real-life counterparts to cars we already had in the game. All in all, I've spent just 30 quid on this game, and I gotta say, money well spent. The festival is split up into 4 sites. One in the valley, one in the city, one at the beach, and one in the outback. I still think this works great. It's like what Forza Horizon 2 did, but better expanded for a more free experience. It allows you to get to grips with the map a lot easier and explore new places as you upgrade the festival. Festivals can be upgraded on the basis of how many fans you attract. More fans means more money and more XP, plus a nicer festival. The car roster is pretty great. I'd actually saved up about 6 million before I uninstalled, so I decided that if I'm going to make this video, I'm going to need to splash. And so I did. I bought every car under £1 million I wanted. This is a surprising amount of variety that isn't carried over to the next game. My personal favourites are either custom built cars or pop culture icons. I've got pretty much the whole Fast and Furious and Initial D cast in my garage, from straight line Chargers and Supras to drifty Turenos and RX-7s. Now, the physics in this game may be slightly broken, as jelly cars are amazing. I've got a Mr. Bean Mini Cooper that does wheelies, and if you flip it over and keep accelerating, you become a spinning top.
Recalculating route.
On a serious note, the car list is impressive, and there's a lot of variety here. More Australian cars this time, but that's the same with every other Horizon. And the car sounds are glorious. The Ferrari FX XK, Pagani's Honda R and Toyota Land Cruiser are my favourites. Drifting is great. With Forza Horizon 2, the cars can be unpredictable and spin out easier, and in Horizon 4, drifting is too easy. But in Horizon 3, it feels right. It captures the arcade feeling by putting you on the edge of control, but barely. I've had so much fun drifting in this game, and it's always fun to vary it. For the first time since the original Forza Horizon, underground street racing is back. Unlike the original Horizon, 3 does not outright say it's underground or illegal, but it's implied and forgivable considering its 3 rating. You move up the street scene by completing head-to-head races with other drivers, unlocking more street racing events. If you complete enough events, you unlock midnight races. These are essentially head-to-head sprint races against another driver, and if you win, you receive their car. They range from a Buick, BMW, Mazda and Lamborghini. It really gives off that underground sort of feel like in the midnight clubs of old. The YouTube scene for this game was hard too. Jack Ultramotive, Black Panther, Don Juan Song and the Air 12 crew really defined this game. I remember the video that made me want to buy this game, and it was the DGS versus DGL race. I remember thinking, this game looks awesome, I want it. I didn't know back then how big of an impact this game would have on me and the car community. Yeah, we've talked about all this rubbish, but what's the one single thing that makes this game great? It's not the graphics, it's not the sound, not the cars or the nostalgia or the music, but it's everything combined. It's the atmosphere. 4 main biomes, over 500 cars, 7 radio stations day and night 24/7. A festival down under that never stops with growling engines, spinning wheels and a growing need for speed. Whether you're drifting through the city at midnight, ripping it through the outback or hitting the hot murky asphalt of the rainforest, the atmosphere of fun and nostalgia is still there. A festival that never sleeps, never waits, never ends. I've poured hours into this game, strengthened friendships, cried and laughed, and I've driven. We play these games to win and to lose and to explore and create to have fun, but most of all, we play to race. And that to me is what makes Forza Horizon 3 the best Forza Horizon game to date.